It's 11 p.m. UK time. I've been in bed all day with a terrible stinking migraine. I have just started to get out and potter around the house. And then something juicy happened. Well, you read the thumbnail, so you already know. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is the first bit of good Batwoman news that we've ever had. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of problems, which we'll go into. But this is one good thing. Now, let's just get into it, and I'll go into it as we go along. Batwoman shocker, says The Hollywood Reporter. Ruby Rose exits CW drama ahead of Season 2. Producer Warner Brothers TV says the role will be recast when the show returns in 2021. More good news. It's not coming back in the autumn time, in the winter time. Yes. I think Superman and Lois is coming January of next year. Maybe it'll arrive then. Dunno. Don't care. Don't care. Probably not going to watch. But now, the annoying thing is, I might have to watch the first episode of Season 2 to see what the new Batwoman's like. Okay. A major surprise. Ruby Rose departed the lead role in the CW's Batwoman after a single season. Producer Warner Brothers TV says the role will be recast. The announcement, Tuesday, 2 days after the show's season finale, leaves the series without a lead actress for the time being. A timeline for the new actress to take over the historic role. Darling, there's nothing historic about Batwoman whatsoever. It will go down in infamy, maybe. Has yet to be determined. Batwoman was renewed for a second season in January. Along with 12 other scripted series on the CW, and was set to anchor. Anchor! It sunk like the fucking Titanic! The network's Sunday night starting in early 2021. Right, okay. This, folks, are the season ratings. They're now all complete. No kind of guesses. They're all complete and up. Apart from this demo, which will be adjusted down. I'll tell you that for nothing. But these are the ratings. The season started off with a 1.86 million. Now, that in itself was terrible. You have to understand this, folks. 1.86 million for a season premiere of a brand new franchise in the Arrowverse from the Bat universe was dire. Every single other show, including Black Lightning, bats everywhere, did much better. I think Black Lightning was somewhere in the 2 millions, if not a little bit higher. Flash and all those lot, they debuted way up. So this 1.86 was the first time that a season premiered less than 2 million for a start, and was diabolical. But then it just fell off a cliff. And you can actually see in week by week the cliff falling. Now, of course, this rating here is the anomalous one. That is the crossover between all the other CW shows, and that even in itself for the crossover event was significantly down on what all the other crossover events had done. But there again, Crisis on Infinite Earth crossover was dog shit. So that might have been a good reason. And it was sad because it was splattered with some wonderful moments from much better shows and much better characters like Brandon Routh's Superman, like Tom Welling's Superman, or Clark Kent as the case would be when he actually turned up. And little cameos here and there which just were rather fun. But the actual brunt of the storytelling was garbage fire. And as ever, they constantly threw their own Superman under the bus. So from there onwards, we had the Christmas break, and then coming back, it couldn't ever get anywhere close to 1 million again. And then people literally just gave up on it. And we started to see 0.6, 0.6, 0.7. So the season finale, which you want to have a really good boost on your season finale, actually ended up being the 5th lowest rating of the season. And the last 4 episodes had 4 of those 5 lowest ratings in there, which says everything. Nobody cares anymore about your shit show. But Ruby Rose was diabolical. Absolutely diabolical in the role. I'm sure Ruby is a lovely person in real life, and this is not a personal stab at Ruby herself. It's a stab at her acting. Because her acting was abysmal. She didn't seem to understand the character of Kate Kane. She didn't seem to understand the character of Batwoman. She didn't have any range whatsoever. Nothing. Sorry, my throat's really dry from being in bed all day and not drinking anything. And she had no range whatsoever within her character, within her spectrum. All of that was left to Rachel Skarsgård. She was the person who did the range with Alice, and they completely overused her way too much. I think she was actually in every episode of the series as well, when she should have been in 4, 5 tops. But they had to rely on her because she was the one that could act. And your main character couldn't. Now, the fault doesn't all fall at Ruby Rose's feet. Yes, she was a diabolical Batwoman. No doubt about it. But the true brunt has to go down to the writers, who were a joke. And that's the kindest that I can be. The writing of the show was an absolute joke. They made no sense. There was no coherency. There was no consistency. They don't understand heroism whatsoever. They don't understand selflessness. Everything in the show seemingly was just about who Kate could get into bed. That was the plot of the series. Who could Kate lay? And they had this really pathetic attempt at a love story between her and Sophie, which had no weight to it whatsoever because she kept jumping into bed with Regan and she kept jumping into bed with Julia Pennyworth, showing that really she didn't care about Sophie at all. Always desperate for validation. She only kept the cape and cowl on after the first episode because it benefited her. Her story arc was resolved in the season premiere. She didn't have good supporting cast either. Luke Fox was a joke. Mary was a joke. Her father, Dougray Scott, bless his heart, but his character was all over the place. Mary's mother, joke. She got killed midway through. Mouse, Deus Ex, joke. Could put anyone's face on and suddenly be the same size as that person, even though it wasn't Clayface. Do anyone's voice. Deus Ex plot device when it needed it. Utterly abysmal. The writing was pathetic. And that needs to change drastically. But ultimately, it has to be pinned on the showrunner as well, Caroline Dries. And Caroline Dries has shown that she hasn't got a clue. She can preach. She can say, hey, I'm gay. Everyone on my staff is gay. And everyone in the show is gay. But that doesn't make for entertainment, Caroline. People don't care what you do in your private time with who you do it with. What people care about when they turn their TV on is to be entertained. The show wasn't entertaining. It was a laughable joke. And to think that they actually made 20 episodes of this is unreal. And with the ratings that it had, The fact that on any other network it would have been cancelled like that. But this is the CW, where failure comes and failure gets renewed because all they have is failure. So what do we know about season 2 so far? Well, before Ruby Rose quit, we had one more piece of great news. More lesbians are coming, but this time they're pirates. The writing has got to change. The showrunner has got to change drastically if this show wants to make it past season 2. They have an opportunity now to cast a really good person as Batwoman. They truly do. So I am interested into seeing who picks up the role. Do they actually go for the best woman for the job? Or do they go for the nearest lesbian for the job? Which is seemingly what they did when it came to Ruby Rose. Do they actually want to drive the stories forward with good characters and good plots? Or do they want to do what they did all season? Drive the story forward through nothing because lesbians. You do the LGBT, the alphabet community, because there's so many letters now, I don't know. You do them a disservice. You really do with this show. You think they're trophies to be plotted out in front of everyone while chastising others for rejecting the fact that your show is abysmal. You have no diversity shield here whatsoever. Your job is to entertain. You failed this city. You failed this network, to quote Arrow. But I don't even need to go any further. I don't care. All I care is one of the show's problems, and I'm sorry, Ruby, again, not a personal attack, but one of the show's major problems, which is its protagonist, has thankfully gone. And maybe we could get somebody with a personality and range to take over. But she can only succeed if the writers give her good scripts and fun storylines. And the showrunner can only allow that to happen if they stop thinking with their genitalia and start thinking with their brain. Or it gets cancelled after 2 seasons. There we go, folks. Hope you enjoyed the little vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. Links in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.